I feel like I've been saying this for every project that I'm on now, but I've been again stuck on a 3D project that I've been working on. This time it was based on a concept that I made for Carlene the Reaper Man way back in the day. Um, it's like a concept that I think it looked kind of fun, but when it came down to it, like I made this part of the water wheel at first, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm feeling the momentum. Like my trim sheets are working. I think this is gonna be like a good project. But as soon as everything was starting to come together, I'm starting to realize, oh shit, like this thing won't actually be like a good piece unless all the VFX with the water and like the particle effects and everything is in place. And at that point, I also felt that the translation of 2D to 3D didn't really work that well. The textures weren't aligning. And yeah, I think the silhouette was probably the biggest issue that I had that wasn't really going the way that I wanted it to. So I decided to make my grandfather's house in Dhaka. So some backstory is that my grandfather, he didn't want his family to be separated, um, which is like a very typical Desi thing. So his idea was that he's going to build this giant house in Dhaka where each sibling will have their own floor, and then when they start their families, the families can live on their own floor in the house, and then they can all live under the same roof. I mean, let's be honest, that sounds like a nightmare. But I do adore the idea, and I don't know. There's also something sentimental that my grandfather had this grand idea, but eventually, like a lot of his kids moved, and some moved abroad, like my dad who moved to Sweden, and now I'm sitting on the other side of the world. And even though his idea was that all his kids and grandkids would be under the same roof, I feel like I am honoring it a bit by at least taking a piece of that in here in Stockholm, but in a digital form, I guess.
But enough about me. I hope this hasn't been boring for you. It's just that whenever I start to talk about Elaine, I always get so carried away. I lose all track of time.
So, as a first step, I asked my dad for reference photos. I just assumed, like, well, it is his dad's house, so I should be able to get like banger reference photos. But no, I just got like super grainy photos, and thought, well, it's not ideal, but it's not too bad. I can just go on Google Maps and I can just type in the address. Again, easier said than done. Like, my dad had this one address, but apparently in Dhaka they did this huge rehaul of all the addresses and name of areas a long time ago. Uh, so it was just not getting me anywhere. Um, so I mean, I just wanted to do some 3D modeling, and all of a sudden I'm finding myself aimlessly on Google Maps in Dhaka trying to find this one house, and I'm trying to geolocate it, but it's just not going well. So close of asking Reddit, like those geolocation wizards, like, "Hey guys, can you just give me the address of this thing?" But eventually, I tapped into my childhood memories, and I remember that the house was close to a mosque. So I was able to ask my dad the name of that mosque. And then once I got the name of the mosque, I could kind of narrow it down, and then I could finally eventually find the house. I will say that without the Google Maps photos, there's absolutely no way I could have done this project. So, yeah.